Welcome to Tales and Stories Hub, where we take you on a journey through time to uncover the secrets of ancient Egypt. In our previous episode, we explored the civilization of Merimde. Today, we continue our adventure in Upper Egypt with the Badarian civilization, one of the oldest in the region. At that time, people didn't live in large, permanent cities or villages, but in small, mobile settlements. Still, they selected specific places to bury their dead, called cemeteries, which revealed much about their lives. The Badarian people shared traits with desert dwellers, especially those from the Gilf Kebir region, and showed signs of Hamitic influence. Their culture extended southward into Nubia and beyond. The climate was warmer and wetter than it is today, allowing them to settle on elevated land overlooking lush marshes and forests filled with plants, especially papyrus. The Badarians were generally short and slender, averaging around 160 centimeters in height, with fine facial features and wavy black or sometimes chestnut-colored hair. Men wore their hair long to the shoulders, while women's hair was shorter, often braided. They cared about their appearance, wearing linen clothes and, in colder weather, garments made of animal hides with the fur facing inward. They also practiced leather tanning. Both men and women wore jewelry made of glazed beads, copper, turquoise, agate, quartz, and even ostrich eggshell. They decorated their hair with feathers or ivory sticks carved in the shape of animals, and some women wore colorful headbands adorned with red seashells. Some even used nose studs. Women used black coal for their eyes and red pigment for their lips. Their homes were simple, low wooden beds, leather or straw-filled pillows, and basic tools like fishing hooks, throwing sticks, spears, arrows, and small model boats. The dead were often buried on beds or wrapped in mats, and sometimes animals like gazelles or cats were buried with them. They always positioned the head to face the sunrise, reflecting a belief in resurrection. Their pottery was finely crafted, well-fired, and elegantly decorated. They placed figurines of animals, hippos, birds, or women in graves, not necessarily for worship, but possibly for symbolic purposes. These cultural features closely resembled those of some East African tribes today, like the Beja, Hadendoa, and certain Somali groups, all of Hamitic origin. Similarities even extended to parts of southern Arabia. With deeper studies of these populations, we may uncover even stronger links to ancient Egypt. By around 4400 BCE, Egyptians had already begun farming and using copper tools, albeit on a small scale. They gradually shifted to a more settled life, working together to dig irrigation canals, drain swamps, and protect crops and villages from Nile floods. Such efforts required cooperation and leadership, and over time, small communities formed into provinces, each led by a local ruler. Eventually, Egypt was divided into two kingdoms. Lower Egypt in the north, represented by a red crown and a bee symbol, and Upper Egypt in the south, represented by a white crown and the sedge plant. Around 3400 BCE, the north united the country for the first time, but this unity didn't last. Later, a king from the south reconquered the north around 3200 BCE, founding Egypt's First Dynasty. Some scholars believe that the original unity lasted until just before the First Dynasty, and that the south rebelled, won independence, and re-established control over all of Egypt. These early centuries laid the foundations of Egyptian civilization, religion, governance, regional systems, and royal traditions. Despite geographic isolation, Egypt was not cut off. It had trade and cultural contact with Mesopotamia. This is evident in Sumerian-style animal motifs found in Badarian art, likely arriving via the Red Sea and Wadi Hammamet routes. Most of what we know about this period comes from cemeteries in Upper Egypt, especially in Qena and Girga, where thousands of ancient tombs have been uncovered. These graves were built on high, dry desert ground, safe from floods and moisture, which helped preserve them for millennia. Unfortunately, delta sites have suffered due to farming, moisture, and low elevation. Many ancient cities now lie under cultivated land, making discoveries rare, unless items were made of stone, gold, or pottery resistant to decay. This loss means we rely mostly on southern evidence to reconstruct Egypt's earliest history. While there were distinct differences between northern and southern cultures, the unification under one ruler eventually created a unified Egyptian identity. Settlements like El Omari, Mahdi, El Hamamaya, and El Mahasna show us how people at the end of the pre-dynastic period lived. Their homes were simple, round or oval, with walls of bundled plant stalks coated with mud, and thatched roofs made of dried reeds. In Mahdi, we find some of the best preserved examples. Excavations by Cairo University began there in 1928 and continue to this day, providing priceless insight into how Egypt transitioned from pre-dynastic times into the dawn of the dynastic age. And that brings us to the end of our journey for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a story from Tales and Stories Hub. See you in the next episode.